Good afternoon, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this afternoon, March 31 deadline to register for next voters list. Jamaicans eligible to vote in upcoming elections have until Monday, March 31 to register for inclusion on the next national voters list, which will be published on May 31. The general election is due by September. The Electoral Office of Jamaica is urging all unregistered individuals 18 years and older who are Jamaican citizens or Commonwealth nationals residing in Jamaica for at least 12 consecutive months to apply before the deadline. Only registered voters will be able to cast their ballots on Election Day, the EOJ said in a statement issued on Monday. Applications must be done in person at any EOJ constituency office island-wide. To facilitate photo taking, applicants are advised to wear bright or dark-colored clothing. Once the application is submitted, an EOJ team will visit the applicant's residence to verify their address before processing the registration. Registering to vote is free of cost. The EOJ is also reminding individuals already on the voters list not to reapply, but to request a renewal if their voter ID card has expired. It said some voter ID cards have been automatically renewed and are awaiting collection at EOJ constituency offices. The voters list is updated twice per year on May 31 and November 30. Those added to the May 2025 list can collect their voter ID cards in June. Mom shocked as only child dies after surgery. Last Monday, when Kenisha Webley took her only child, Cornell Hall, to the University Hospital of the West Indies for tibia reconstruction surgery, she breathed a sigh of relief. Finally, the 16-year-old would be correcting his bow leg and would soon be back at the classes preparing for CSEC exams. Cornell, who enjoyed playing football, anticipated being back on the field with his peers. However, despite what was supposed to be a low-risk surgery, Webley is currently making funeral arrangements. Cornell died less than 24 hours after the operation. His mother is demanding answers as an autopsy conducted at the Tranquility Funeral Home yesterday came up inconclusive. So now the matter is going to the coroner's court. They are seeing blood on his brain. They said it was about 2 tablespoons of blood, but it would not be enough to kill him. There are abnormalities on his liver. My son did not get blood in time because, according to them, the type of surgery normally have minimal blood loss, Webley said. Tibia reconstruction is a surgical procedure often performed to treat bone tumors or fractures with reconstruction options, including prosthetic replacement. Webley said although Cornell had a sickle cell, he was in good health, hence why he was cleared for surgery. We went in on Monday and he was the first on the list for surgery the following morning. Prior to that, we had discussions with the doctors about the type of surgery, and they spoke to me about the risk involved for healthy persons and others who have other medical conditions. My son had a sickle cell, but he is not sickly and was very healthy, she said. Webley said that during her son's surgery, a doctor called saying that they did not receive the correct portion of a surgical item that was ordered. She said when she inquired about sourcing the other items, she was told that the operation had already begun and they would have to improvise. They told me that they were going to do a bone graft and they will be taking bone from the hip. I could not say no because I am not the expert there and my son was in surgery. About 5 p.m., they told me he was out of surgery and I could come and see him. His face was swollen, but he was talking and saying he was thirsty. He was interacting with the doctors and even told them that his pain level was about 6 and so on. He then looked at me and said, "Love you," and I said, "Love you too." That was the last time I saw my son alive, Webley said. She said approximately 2.5 hours later, a doctor called, informing her that they had underestimated Cornell's blood loss and that his blood count went to 4. However, they were able to give him a unit of blood and his condition had slightly improved. The doctor told me that my son was very ill and that his heart can stop at any moment. Honestly, I felt heat coming out of my tummy and my body felt weak. She said my son had woken up and he was disoriented and that his heart rate was escalating, she said. Later, Webley said she listened in horror as she was told to have someone accompany her to the UHWI at once. She was allowed to hold the colonel's hand and to talk to him, but he was unresponsive. They said he was likely hearing me, but couldn't respond. My son had a breathing tube attached to him. After we left the hospital, we got a call from renal department hours later to say that Colonel was going to need dialysis. So I was thinking that, although it wasn't a good thing, at least I was getting some answers on how to treat the situation, she said. About 20 minutes later, I got another call from another doctor who told me that they had to rush my son to emergency surgery and they could not wait on my signature. They said they were having some issue in the thigh groin area where he had taken the bone graft from. After that, I started getting calls and they were asking how far I was from the hospital, Webley added. Webley said she blocked out the thought of death, but to her dismay, Colonel was pronounced dead on Wednesday at 12:25 p.m. I went numb and my sister started screaming. I asked them to remove her from the room because that was going to break me down. I needed to know what went wrong because my son came in healthy for a knee surgery, so how did it get to death, she said. As she grieves, Webley said she has many unanswered questions. Going into the theater, you would need to have an extra supply of blood because you have to expect the unexpected. You cannot go in and say you didn't expect him to lose any blood, especially when you perform another procedure where a bone graft was done. One of the doctors stood up and said my son's death was a sudden one and they have no idea what happened and it needs to be investigated. I need answers from UHWI, she said. The news reached out to the UHWI via email seeking comment, but received no response up to yesterday. 3 British nationals charged with breaches of Dangerous Drugs Act. 3 British nationals have been charged with breaches of the Dangerous Drugs Act after they were allegedly caught attempting to smuggle cocaine through Norman Manley and the Sangster International airports last week. 50-year-old Nigel Manning of Northumberland in London, England, was arrested at the Sangster International on Thursday, March 13. He was subsequently charged on Friday with possession of cocaine, dealing in cocaine, attempting to export cocaine, and a conspiracy. The Firearms and the Narcotics Investigation Division reported that about 3:20 p.m. its personnel were conducting security screening at the Sangster for passengers boarding a flight destined for London Gatwick Airport. During the screening, Mr. Manning reportedly aroused the suspicion of the police. It is reported that a subsequent search of his luggage revealed 7 frozen coconuts containing approximately 4 kilograms or 9 pounds of cocaine. The drug has an estimated street value of £128,000 or 26 million Jamaican dollars. Mr. Manning's arrest came one day after detectives arrested separately 2 British nationals for the same offense at the Norman Manley International Airport. 51-year-old Derek Winston and 41-year-old Lisa Wood, both of Sandway Road, Orrington in England, have been charged with possession of cocaine, dealing in cocaine, attempting to export cocaine, and a conspiracy. They were held with a combined 14.2 kilograms or 31 pounds of drug, valued at £454,400 or Jamaican $92.7 million. The drug was concealed in their suitcases. Guys, thank you for watching. See you this evening at 6 p.m. for another news update.